Okay, guys, so I'm back home. Not really happy to be home. um, I didn't want to come back to Chicago. It's lonely here. You know, it's weird because it's not really weird. It's expected. You know, with when I was my mom's caregiver, I literally couldn't go anywhere for decades. And then when she was in the nursing home, you know, someone had to be there to watch out for her. And I would suggest, you know, to anyone whose family members are in a nursing home, be there. Make sure your presence is known, because if you're not, they're not going to have an okay time there. Um, so anyway, when my mom passed, I didn't want to be in Chicago anymore. You know, I say I'm home now, but in reality, I'm never going to have a home again. You know, I have nothing here. I have nothing here, and I can really, I can feel her absence. So I left, right? I went on a trip, and I went to meet my friend in Oregon, because I have a friend who moved there a few years ago, and you know, she kept saying, it's so great, it's so great, it's so great out there, you know, you got to come visit. So I did, and we ended up renting a car when I got there, and we drove from Northern Oregon to Northern California, and it was a great time. I needed the break, right? It was exhausting, but I needed the break. I needed to get away. But you know, I had to come back, and you know, coming back on the train, it was, I mean, the train ride, the scenery was gorgeous, but it was a sad time, because I knew I was coming back to nothing. To make matters worse, I'm still a target. So, you know, those of us who are being targeted this way, life happens, but we're still going to be targeted through all of it. You know, bad things happen to everyone, but we have to deal with the targeting in addition to that. So, on the train both ways, it seemed like everyone who was sick was seated near me. Like they're in front of me and back of me or by my side, and they were coughing and hacking up their lungs, right? Like crazy. Only by me. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of nice people on the train. I enjoyed the company of a lot of people. But, you know, it seems like there was something going on there, and we know that germ warfare has always been used. And the perpetrators today are no exception. Anyway, on the way home, there was this one woman who she wasn't initially on our car, because, you know, a train, there are different cars you ride on. It's very long. Eventually, she somehow ended up coming to our car, sat in the back, which was a few rows behind me, on the other side, though, like, you know, of the aisle. And she was hacking up her lungs like crazy. She did not stop, and she wasn't covering her mouth. She wasn't, you know, it was crazy. Eventually, the conductor came back, and he was talking to her. He asked her where she came from, because she wasn't even supposed to be on that car. Eventually, he let her stay. I don't goddamn know why he did, but she wasn't supposed to be there. And I'm pretty sure she was a plant. I'm pretty sure she was sent intentionally. Not by the conductor, right? But he was really nice. But anyway, it got so bad that this guy, he had a kid with him. He asked to move to a different car because of it, and the conductor was nice and let him. Eventually, I did the same thing. And again, you know, the conductor, he did what he could. It was a full train, so there's not many places you could move at that point. But he was really nice about it. So I moved to a different car. Then, you know, a few hours later, not a few hours later, maybe, was it the next morning? I don't remember. Time I have no concept of time. I walked, you know, you have to walk through different cars to get to the observatory car and the cafe. And so I was walking there, and I didn't see the woman. So I'm thinking, oh, well, she must have gotten off. Great, all that hassle, and now she finally gets off when I move. Well, a few hours later, I heard that same coughing again. I hadn't seen it when I left to go to the observatory, but she had moved again, this time to our car, literally, and that's what the coughing was. She moved again. Like, is this woman going to move from car to car to make everyone on the train sick? She can't stay to one car? This was, I'm pretty sure, a setup. Okay, they've done it before, and they'll do it again. That's what they do. That's what they do. Okay. Get back to Chicago, get my bag, and of course it's the last one to come out. I'm starting to panic, right? And then I was waiting for this hiking stick that I got. Like, I got this hiking stick, while we were still in Oregon. And it was really nice. Like, it wasn't that expensive, but it was nice. I really liked it a lot. It was perfect for me. And, but I didn't want to lug it, on the train with me. And I asked the guy when I boarded the train in Oregon to go home, can I, should I take this on the train, or can I send it with baggage? And he said that either way is fine. So I checked it with baggage, thinking that it would be fine, but it was not. I got back to Chicago, and there was a transfer, right? But they still said it would be fine. Well, it wasn't. The stick wasn't there. So I contacted everyone I was supposed to, and then that night, I got a call from someone from Oregon saying they had my walking stick, right? It was at the train station. What they agreed to do is they're going to put it on the next train to Chicago. So I'm going to be picking it up in a few days, so at least I'll be getting that back. But it's just more of a hassle, right? I mean, granted, they were nice about it, but it's still more of a hassle. And it's meant to be. So I get home. And I'm exhausted by that point. I come in, I turn on the light, and it's flickering on and off. Now, I changed this light bulb a few weeks ago, and I don't use it much, but it wore out somehow when I'm on vacation, even though it was off. Right. And this is not the only thing they're going to fuck with. They're going to fuck with a lot while I'm out, and it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's to just make your life miserable. At that point, it's hot in here. Like, I wanted to take a really cold shower because on the train I had bought, like, alcohol wipes to wash down with, right? To wash with, because I was in coach. There's no shower there. And it's really hot in this apartment. Like, it's been over 90 degrees in Chicago for the last few days, and that's what I came home to. And in my apartment, it's always hotter because I have a gas stove, and that's always heats up the apartment, even when you're not using it. And since it's a studio and there's no door between the kitchen and the rest of the apartment, you feel that. So it's even hotter in here than it is outside. Like, really bad. So I wanted to take a shower, and I go in and I turn on the water, and I notice it's clogged up. It's clogged up. Now, before I had left, I had taken a shower, and I noticed that it was draining slowly, but it wasn't clogged until that point. So I figured, okay, it's going to drain fine, because it usually does. And I didn't have time to call maintenance at that point because my train was going to leave. It was like literally that morning that I was leaving. So I expected it to just drain fine. It didn't. It didn't. So when I got home, everything was clogged up. I texted the maintenance guy. He was on vacation in Europe. He said that he would send someone on Monday. Great. That's great. So yesterday I didn't shower, and today, I'm thinking, should I just book a hotel room? It's hot as hell in here. I can't even shower. I can't even have a fucking shower. I had to put all my stuff away. I'm sweating. It's been days. Just let me have a fucking shower. Finally, I got a plunger, and it didn't work initially. It took about an hour of massive plunging before the drain cleared. Finally, I was able to take a shower, and it was heaven. Like, ice cold. Finally. But again, it was just more hassle, and it was meant to be. Right. Okay. I go to put some of my stuff away. I open my closet door, and everything falls out. Why? Because the hook that I had on the door fell off. Yeah. One thing after another. They're like vermin. Like they'll it's like termites, where they'll eat away at the foundation of your home until your house collapses on top of you. They fucking destroy everything around you like little fucking vermin. That's what the perpetrators of this stalking campaign do. And it's meant to drive the target to the breaking point. But anyway, so here's my thoughts. How much time do I have left? We're heading toward the 10-minute mark. This video is getting long. Germ warfare, guys. The government has done it before. I mean, they did it at the start of this nation, and they've been doing it all along. And, the population is going to allow this to happen because they you think that there are always people willing to commit the most evil atrocities if someone with power tells them it's okay to do it and pays them, right? We don't have to look back at history anymore and think, how could all of those people have allowed that to happen when we're thinking about like horrible events that took place? All we have to do is look at what's happening today. And I don't just mean what the right wing is doing. Obviously, that's horrible. But the stalking campaign, what is happening behind the scenes, the psyops, right? People destroying other people's lives, people they don't even know. And it's the poor who are going to suffer the most, because the poor, as when it comes to germ warfare especially, because the poor are packed onto, many of them have to use public transportation, so they're packed onto small little, boxes, enclosed with other people who are coughing and hacking up their lungs. You can't not breathe. So the poor are going to get sick. They're going to have the highest numbers of sick, and some of them won't survive. Or if it's a train, like a long train ride, you can't even open the windows. And some people are on the train for days even. I was on the train for days. You're locked in there with those people who are coughing and hacking, and this is going to affect the poor. It's going to kill off the poor. What if there's like a major, outbreak of something that is extremely deadly really quick, right? What if smallpox comes back or something like that? There's going to be a massive die-off, and it is entirely the fault of whoever will not take proper precautions to ensure they don't make other people sick. Because even if you're sick, there are things you can do. You can cough into your hand, you can cough into your arm, you can cough into your shirt. You don't have to fucking cough outright, or everyone else is going to get sick. And then, of course, there are the people who are sent for the sole purpose of making everyone sick. They're paid to do it. Germ warfare. And the poor are going to suffer the most, right? Those who are wealthy, if they're taking the train, they could get private rooms. But it's the poor people who are in coach who can't afford that. Anyway, yeah, I'm back. I got my little hat from the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Driving into California was pretty cool. It was. I don't want to be back here.